rise for the invocation by Reverend Paul Helms.
Lord, I come to you today, and I know that this city is so important to every one of us. I love this community, and I know that everything that's done here is done with the desire to make this the best city that it can possibly be. My prayer, Lord, today is for wisdom. The greatest gift I feel like we can be given is the ability to know what to say and the wisdom to know when to say it. And so I pray that you will give wisdom to all of this council. Bless them in the work that they do. And Lord, I just pray for your guidance. And it's in your name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll now call the regular city council meeting to order, and I entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Public forum limited to agenda items only. Does anyone wish to address the council? There being none, I'll entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Number 7, planning and zoning board appointment. I would make a motion to appoint Brent Miles for the unexpired term on planning and zoning board. You're here a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Number 8, Marion Housing Authority Board appointment. I would make a motion to appoint Helen Resnick for the unexpired 4-year term to the Marion Housing Authority Board. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any further discussion on that? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Number 9, update on hike and bike trail project. Trail committee members, just to address the council.
Yes.
Sure, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm the man of white.
No, you're not.
Good evening. My name is Donna Hett, and I'm here with Mr. Ed Mueller. And we are representing the committee formed to help determine options for location and length of the hike and bike trail. So real quick, I think it's important to note that our committee was formed with members of the community representing a variety of ages and backgrounds to ensure the largest majority of our town will benefit. As mentioned on the support letter, we believe that this trail will improve our community for several reasons, including continuing to attract families to town through active tourism, as well as providing a safe alternative to walking and biking on the street. We hope this will promote physical and mental wellness associated with regular physical activity. We believe it shows a sense of community pride, cohesion, and quality of life here in Marion. It also keeps us up to date with many towns similar in size to us that also have trails. So after considering many different locations, what you see in front of you and on the TVs is the trail that we believe to be the most accessible, open, and available to our community and targeted to a broad segment of the general public. This trail creates an approximately 2.2 mile, starting at Ann's Park and connecting 3 recreational areas. There is also a loop just north of the ball fields, which creates just short of a mile distance. The committee has come up with 3 options for this trail. The first option is to concrete the entire distance. We estimate that cost to be approximately $500,000, with the city's 20% coming out to $100,000. Concrete has many benefits, including longevity and minimal maintenance. The second option, and the committee recommendation, would be to lay the foundation for this trail with rock and gravel. We estimate that cost to be approximately $160,000, with the city's 20% coming out to be about $33,000. With this option, once the trail is established, we can apply for future grants to make improvements, including concreting where necessary. Salina did something similar with their trail. The third option would be to shorten the length to only include the distance from Ann's Park down Kellison and north of the ball field, that loop, and then back. Are there any questions?
Any questions, council?
I think I have some. Are you running right along the roads, right by the side of the roads?
Yeah, it would
Like,
be,
for instance, Kellison,
mhm.
are you gonna be off to the side of that?
Yes,
Nelson would be on the north side of the road,
North,
okay, across, Ms. Mott's land.
Yeah. Oh, in the private land.
The right of way there and what utilities are in there, we may have to go get an easement and just be slightly into that southern edge. It would not be where Mr. Kraus farms, it's just,
Yeah, you.
I have a question. Is that, are you, when you talked about the original trail, are you talking about where the green is, or on the
Yeah.
bottom?
so we would like to use the trail where you see the green, but we haven't made contact with anyone at the senior center yet. So the yellow would be an alternative.
Yeah, the problem with the senior centers is whenever you do one of these kind of projects, you're always gonna run into a little bit, who owns that? I think right now we're trying to research and Annie's looking at it, who does,
Is that
who,
assisted living?
Yes.
pardon me?
Okay, assisted
Yeah.
living?
Yeah, who actually can sign an easement or a deed on their behalf, so.
And then, I know you go around the school, which the school now has all that, are they willing to?
Yeah, so we have had tentative discussions with the school board and the Marion Advancement Campaign to where we felt comfortable presenting this.
And then Married Advancement is that yellow?
Yeah, that'd be up here, Susan, right up in there.
And then when you talk about it, are you cutting behind the new houses that are in Coble?
Nope.
Between the houses and the cemetery, or?
No, so where it comes around the ball fields and then if you follow the green,
Mhm.
where it connects then to Lawrence Street,
Mm-hmm.
that would all be city, already established city streets.
Okay, but then when you go north again, that's not on Coble, or is it on Coble Street?
It is Coble Street,
It
yes.
is, okay, thank you.
and the plan would be to, if you've been in Wichita, they have designated bike lanes that are painted, the diamonds. Where we're on the city street, that's how.
Okay,
We could include it in the original grant, but there is a chance that,
yeah,
yeah.
okay.
Did you have something else?
Along the way, how wide is this generally gonna be? Not where it's on a street, but off the street?
10 feet is what KDOT,
10 feet is the minimum width for the grant, typically for the grant programs that we would be applying.
Yeah, it won't be like a rails to trail, it'd be a rail bed, it'd be 10, 12 feet.
So this would be sidewalks or basically walking past the entire way? Or you would use some of the streets?
yeah, so from the beginning at Ann's Park, and then down Kellison, behind the ball fields, and then over all the way until the green meets up with Lawrence Street, that would be trail.
Okay. Susan, do
If
you
I-
still have some millions?
So this would all be new trail here, and then we'd be on city streets for this portion.
Okay. We had stockpile of millions at one time. Do we still have those? Those would make a good path.
There's not enough to do this project. Because from Ann's Park is where the trailhead would be, and we'd be able to put parking there, place to unload the bikes to whatever. But for most families that live on at least the hill portion of town, it's direct street access to start. then we go across and the new is basically the north and east side. That we'd be constructing the 10-foot wide path. This to link it into the loop would be utilizing sidewalk access or designated bike lane on the streets.
Okay. You need anything further from us?
I need to know which option you want to start. Because I've got to get started on the grant application. It has to be submitted by November 15th.
Okay.
So your recommendation was the second one?
Yeah, to establish the trail with rock and gravel, and that gives us the opportunity in the future to apply for different grants, and that we can make improvements on the already established trail.
And that's the whole distance, right? Number two?
Yes,
Okay.
well, that's the trail distance from Ann's Park all the way down until city streets.
Yeah.
2.2.
Yeah.
And if I could make a quick clarification on the gravel, what that would be 4 inches of base rock capped with an inch or two of something like a crushed limestone, or if anybody's ever knows what like the Katy Trail over in Missouri is, it's gonna be a real fine rock that'll pack down and be a really nice, smooth riding surface, walking surface, and be able to push strollers on it, things like that.
Okay.
As the old man of the committee, I would certainly urge you to pass number 2. I have been thoroughly delighted in the brief time I've had to work in this committee, is how many young people in this committee are interested in that, want to see something positive happen for the future of the city of Marion. And it really jazzes me to see that kind of enthusiasm. We're blessed with that, so have at it, guys.
Any further discussion of the council? Questions? Well, I would so move that we select the second option number 2, to look for the grant for that specific option. Do I hear a second?
Second.
We moved second, all
I
those.
second it too.
Everybody second. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, those opposed, same sign. Motion carries.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Committee appreciates it.
Number 10, discussion of commercial zoning fees. Vice Mayor?
I was recently contacted by somebody who wanted to build or start a daycare center. And they learned that the location where they wanted to put it in required a variance or a conditional use permit. I got Margot here, moving my lips. Which wasn't any big deal, but the fee was $500. And I know this was just changed 2 years ago and increased from $150 to $500. But it just seemed a little bit exorbitant to require a business, while you come to Marion, wanting to start a business in Marion, and hit them with a $500 fee when 2 miles down the road, they go to Hillsborough and it's $50. For not only this type of a request, but basically up and down the board. We do compete with Hillsborough. There are businesses that look at both Marion and Hillsborough. This could be one of those that would make somebody decide, well, I'm gonna go over there where they seem to be more welcoming to the business community. So my only motivation tonight is to look at this fee and consider reducing it where we were 2 years ago, and if you wanna go further, that's fine with me, but, I would just like to see something less than the $500 that we have on the books right now, and, make it generally as easy as possible to come in and start a new business in town.
I don't know where that's ever come from, the $500.
I don't either, Jerry. I think we were gone now.
I must have been gone too.
I don't think.
Roger, can you enlighten us on that? And
Is there a
what brought that
reason to have
about?
that much? Does anybody know, is there a reason to have that much?
This was during the time of the Tahoe discussions.
Yeah.
Okay? And there was a lot of emotion interjected at that time. The vice mayor seconded it, the mayor at the time made the motion, and it passed unanimously. Okay? And it created the $500 minimum with 1% of the project valuation. So, larger projects would be upwards of $5,500, $6,000 to do the zoning application.
What's the purpose of the fee? That for mailing, what else? I know it's for-
Publications and mailings.
it's not that expensive, is it?
Publication is expensive.
I mean, would the old fee of $125 cover the cost?
A good chunk, if not all, depending on the size of the publication.
Some you'd have money left, some you might spend a little more.
Some things we
Yeah.
do, we have to put some of our skin in the
Yeah,
game.
I understand.
We don't collect 100% for every action we take, every project we do. I guess just clarify what I'm requesting we consider today is just a flat fee, no percentage of the project, getting it up to thousands of dollars. This, hopefully we're gonna make money on taxes and both, and property taxes and that sort of thing. So, what I'm recommending we consider is the one that does not have a percentage that lets it go up. That we just establish both commercial and residential fees for these types of requests of our city.
Is that a conditional use permit only?
No, that's the whole,
Everything?
basically,
Conditional use, rezoning,
Okay.
variance,
yes.
zoning, change of zoning. And I agree with Chris, I think we have to have some skin in the game. And residential is 125, so I see no reason to put commercial any higher than 150. And take off the percentage.
I entertain a motion.
I would make the motion that ruthless discretion.
And I second it.
So,
Do you have any questions, Tiffany?
well,
It's a 30-page.
that would be approval of the resolution 2118, which is the next item on the agenda.
Oh,
That way it's all prepared in the legal document that we need to execute to change the fee.
And it's not these with the red 0.5%.
No, what you're passing, it just says that we're revising resolution 21-18. It's in here. Just said that we're amending, we're modifying page 9 of the community development fees to align and support the administrative fees of the planning and zoning regulations of the city. And then you're adopting this page 9, is what will be the supporting detail.
which is 125. Everyone understand
Yeah.
that?
It's just that since we do all of our pricing on the comprehensive fee schedule, we use a resolution to modify that schedule.
Okay, I entertain a motion to approve resolution 21-18.
I move to approve resolution 2119, 18, that one. It is.
Second,
Second.
been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Carries 5-0. Number 12, discussion of KMED health insurance final rates. Roger?
Okay, to update council, we've been working with the Kansas Municipal Insurance Trust in an attempt to launch our own group for health insurance. The goal was to have at least 500 souls, depending on which cities would desire to join in, go together as our own pool, which would help us basically with the risk and our rating. The way that our premium's set now, it's based off of our group usage, what the claims are, both frequency and cost of claims. And then we're thrown in with another group that's called the grandfathered plan under Blue Cross Blue Shield. They currently have 18 participants in that group, us being one of them. Where our track record is, all of that, we basically, the maximum they can leverage up is 15% each year, based on our claim history. The proposal that, the initial, when the group came together, there was over 500, there were 23 cities and 500 employees that would be part of the group, and they gave us a rate quote. Since that time, they had an additional 8 cities. Yes, 8 cities dropped out of their entrance. So with that, the final rates that they're quoting to us would be an additional 3.24%. For us to make the move to this group right now, our increased rate beginning in 2022 would be 23.98%, basically a 24% increase. They are guaranteeing 10% increase the following year or less. But over the 2 years, we're looking at 34%. Based on our own individual risk factors and usage to this point, we'd be looking at a maximum of 30%. So it would cost us as a city 4% more to go into this. The reason we were looking at the larger pool, it was going to be similar insured groups, everybody doing the same type of work, same basic mix of employees. And we thought if we had a group of 500 or more, it lessens that catastrophic illness risk that we currently carry on our own. The pool is asking for a decision if this council is willing to move forward and launch this program. If it launches and we're not involved in it, we will have the option of applying to the group in 2023's renewal. So we could sit on the sideline for a year. At this point, I'm not sure if the group will launch without Marion, because we do have one of the lowest risk factors of the cities that we're looking to put into this group.
Were the ones who dropped out having the same kind of 24% jump in their cost?
No, many of them that dropped out were more than 15 to 18%.
But it was because of that increase that they.
At least the ones that I've been.
If we move to delay our enrollment participation until 2023, we're not committed to 2023, are we?
We are not committed to it.
I move that we delay our enrollment and participate in the KMIT health insurance program until a later date at which the program has been successfully launched by KMIT.
I'll second that. Any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries 5-0. Real estate, number 13, real estate contract for CBC Marion LLC discussion. Roger?
Give me just a second, I gotta get
Okay.
caught up so I can take over Randy's notes here. Okay, conversations continued after the July proposal with CBC Marion LLC, which is the real estate division, looking for a Family Dollar Tree store in our city. Those discussions continued. Additional sites were provided to them for their analysis. Within your packets, Randy had provided the financial implications of this. 8 to 10 employees, an annual payroll of $195,000, capital investment projects $550,000 for the construction. A similar store in 2015, the property valuation came in at $529,620. That's resulted in $28,804 per year to the taxing units in Marion County. The 5-year total for our city is generated $46,442 in ad valorem taxes. On the commerce side of it, the corporate reports indicate that a store of this size generate over $1,635,000 in commerce to the community. For Marion, with our sales tax alone, not the county sharing portion, that represents $12,263 a year. The utility revenue is estimated to be $18,000 to the city as far as what we do there. The shopping analysis, each additional retail option creates destination for not necessarily city shoppers, but around the area. That if they're going to one store, if there's choices, they'll come to town and look around and spend hopefully a little bit more time. The merchandising plans and store assessments are indeed meant to compete with like dollar stores, but also they're designed to take away from the Walmart and Amazons of the world to provide a local alternative. I believe some of you have visited the store that opened in Peabody, and you know what Dollar General. So they're trying to, yes, compete, but at the same time, they're trying to differentiate themselves and stop the 40-mile drive that's occurring to the bigger box stores. At the end of 2020, Dollar General operated 17,266 stores. Dollar Tree Family Dollar operated 15,288. Their expansion plans are for 650 this year and a like number next year. Dollar Tree Family Dollar targeted Marion as one of their next store locations, and Randy's comment, the track record seemingly speaks for itself. It's doubtful that they would make an investment of that nature in a market that they haven't done an analysis on. They're accountable. In my personal experience, they're accountable to